Morning, everyone. I'm going to start the webinar so long, and we'll probably wait for a couple of more people to join in. I want to say, first of all, thank you very much to everyone who has logged on to the webinar. It is an open webinar at the moment, so we have both proudly South African members as well as South African businesses online with us today. Thank you very much to everyone who's joining. We also have the Takealot team online with us. Alexander is from Takealot. He will be running you through the Takealot process in terms of onboarding. They also have quite a few exciting incentives available, which is exclusive to proudly South African members. So all the very exciting incentives you're going to hear about in the webinar is available to proudly South African members. For those companies joining us who are not yet members, please join us as proudly South African members if you want to take up the incentives. The Takealot team will be communicating with us after the webinar, just in terms of how we are going to check the membership numbers. So please take that offer up on both sides. So for those of you, I'm sure everyone does know Takealot. We've had quite a few queries from our members to try and get Takealot on board with proudly South African so that they can enlist with them. So it is very much a strategic partnership that we have with Takealot. For those of you who are not aware, they have over 9,000 sellers currently registered on their platform, and you will have access to over 3.7 million customers who are shopping daily on Takealot. So it is one of the biggest platforms in South Africa, and it is growing daily and daily. So they're doing quite a large push to get proudly South African members as well as South African companies on board, just to give you guys a better access to market opportunity online. A lot of you are not aware of how online process work, and you are trying to get into that space. So we are happy and quite excited to have this webinar with Takealot to allow you the opportunity to have the online access and the marketplace. So I'm going to hand over to you now, Alexander, just to go through your presentation and what you have available on offer. I just also want to remind everyone there is a chat box available. If you have any questions, please post it in the chat box. We will have a bit of a Q&A session towards the end of the webinar where we'll address all the questions. But if you have any questions throughout the process, please post it in there, and both teams will answer towards the end of the webinar. So Alexander, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Cool, thank you. Apologies, there's a bit of a delay between my audio and your audio, so if I'm 5 seconds behind, I apologize about that. Yeah, maybe just in short, my name is Alex for short. I am a team leader within Takealot to oversee onboarding and acquisition. I've been with Takealot for going on 8 years. And really what my focus is helping to onboard our third-party marketplace sellers onto the platform. And the benefit of that is that our customers get additional selection from one of our sellers that is proudly producing in South Africa. And on your side of things, the seller selling on our platform gets access to market, not just access to market. You get to leverage everything that Takealot's invested in terms of the customer checkout process, etc. So I'll just go through. I've got a bit of a presentation I'm going to work through now. I'll share my screen shortly, and towards the end, I guess we can get to questions, and we'll share any exact offers during and after the webinar. So yeah, with that being said, let me share my screen. There we go. I'm going to kindly ask if Taryn or someone can just confirm if they can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Great, fantastic. Okay, thank you. So I think important in sharing what is Takealot Marketplace, it's important to go through why are we here today, who is Takealot, what has Takealot done to date, and then just really bring in what you as a seller has access to, etc. So I think sorry, let me get this right. There we go. Okay, so I think if we just touch on e-commerce before we get into Takealot, where's e-commerce in South Africa? So e-commerce has been growing steadily for the last couple of years. We could thank COVID and lockdown, which helped online's growth in South Africa. And if you look at basically towards the end of last year, online was still growing 39% year on year in South Africa. That being said, as far as online retail e-commerce has grown in South Africa, it's still a very small percentage of our total retail market in South Africa. Depending on what data you look at, e-commerce is rumored to be about 5% of total retail as of today. Now, when we zoom out again and ask ourselves, what is the potential here? Why should I be online? Why should I be digital? Why should I be in e-commerce? We index ourselves against other countries around the world, but I think more specifically, if you look at South Africa and you look at emerging markets around the world, whether it's Brazil, India, etc., you'll find that the online penetration they have in those markets exceeds South Africa's. And so I think if you look at where Takealot is, Takealot's very squarely positioned in the e-commerce space. Everything gets purchased online. We don't have any physical stores where you can purchase our products, although we do have a physical presence, which I'll get into shortly. So I think our hope that all of us are sold on the idea of e-commerce and where it's heading. And if it just stays at its growth now, it's rumored in 2026, the e-commerce market will be 130 billion or 8% of online retail. So that's online retail. Then we bring into the picture Takealot. Who is Takealot? So Takealot is South Africa's leading online retailer. We do have a very simple vision in mind. Let's be the largest, simplest, most customer-centric shopping destination in South Africa. And when you think about Takealot, it is completely digital. It's a platform. You can go onto our website, takealot.com, or you can download the apps from the iOS and essentially the Android store, and you can shop online, or at least from your phone, from the comfort of your couch, should we say. Okay, so that's Takealot, purely digital online shopping experience. And what makes Takealot unique? Let's look into some of those. So Takealot has over 10 million products that you can shop from. Most of those are books. So I'd like to think if there's any book you're looking for in the world, I'm hoping that we do either stock it or have access to get that book to you. But yes, over 10 million products that you can shop from coffee to car accessories. Then from a physical presence perspective, we have 4 DCs with soon to come online. Durban will come online later this year. But essentially, those 4 DCs are 2 Johannesburg, 2 Cape Town. And the point behind those distribution centers is they do 2 things. A, they stock a lot of our fast-moving products. And B, they act as distribution hubs where we receive orders from different sellers, consolidate the customer's order, and essentially, after we've consolidated the customer order in the DC closest to the customer, we will ship that order out. And how does that shipping work? Well, Takealot's invested into our own delivery network. Now, you might know it as Mr. D. Mr. D is part of the Takealot Group. But essentially, if you take the Mr. D and Takealot delivery team, it's our own franchise network of delivery operators. And so we essentially deliver the order to a franchised hub, and we have hubs all around the country, and those hubs will essentially deliver the order to the customer's door in South Africa. And if you look at the number of orders we do per month, we're delivering more than 1 million orders/boxes, and most of those get delivered by our own delivery network. And I think why that's important and why Takealot's invested in this is to ensure that the customer gets a fantastic experience and that we can scale at the speed we need to. Also, having our own delivery network has its other advantages and benefits, which I'll get into shortly. Then I think further to just, DC's delivery and customer experience, in addition to the delivery network that Takealot owns, known as Takealot Delivery Team /Mr. D, we also have pickup points. So we operate more than 100 pickup points across the country, with the flagship pickup points being in Midrand, and then we also have a pickup point in Richmond, Cape Town. We've also recently opened up a pickup point in a major mall of South Africa in Canal Walk, Cape Town. So if you're in Canal Walk in Cape Town, you'll find our pickup points at one of the exits. And I think the point behind a pickup point is that customers in South Africa, they can't always accept a delivery. They might be at work where they don't want to or can't accept a delivery, out on the road a bit, and they essentially want the ability to purchase, one of those 10 million products, get free delivery/pickup, and go to a pickup point and collect their order. So that's just a little bit about pickup points. Then I think just going back to pick up points, another important piece why we've invested in this route is, I said earlier, it gives us some benefits. And those benefits essentially is that we can do same and next day delivery for customers in the Greater Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Cape Town area. So if you've got you're trying to purchase an item, you go online to Takealot and you find it in stock, you can opt for same and next day delivery. And provided you're within the areas of Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Pretoria, you'll get same or next day delivery. And that goes the same for pickup. If you want same or next day pickup, that is also an option. So again, just reiterating the benefits of building out the supply chain. Then I think moving from the supply chain and just understanding the customers' benefits online or reasons why customers shop Takealot is we have multiple ways to pay. So customers, when they purchase nearly any product, they've got more than 10 ways to pay us, but if we look into it, it's pretty much all the credit card methods, including American Express. We support buy now, pay later options. We have instant EFT options. We have eBucks, Discovery Miles, which are fantastic loyalty reward systems where customers can purchase goods on Takealot. And then a very major one is cash on delivery. And cash on delivery really just allows you to get to more customers because not all customers have credit cards or have the understanding around instant EFT, etc. So, and the great part about this is when you sell on Takealot, the payment methods that we spend time placing onto the platform, etc., these payment methods, taking payments from customers, is included in the fees charged to you as a seller. Okay, then let's touch on Takealot's reach and traffic. So I said earlier, we're South Africa's biggest online retailer, not just by volume, not just by customers, but if you look at it, we get more than 40 million visits per month. And if you break those visits down, a smaller portion of those visits come to our website, takealot.com. But the major part of our visits now happens actually through our apps. So if you look at the apps, we've got more than 10 million downloads on Android. On iOS, that's not published, but most of our traffic does come through on the apps. We have more than 2.2 million engaged newsletter subscribers. And then we have more than 1 million boxes essentially leaving our DCs every month. And then lastly, on social media, we've got more than 1 million fans across all the social media channels. Something I do just want to touch on the social media, we are pioneering live shopping in South Africa. So if you're a big fan of Takealot, if you follow our socials, I'm sure and I hope that you have watched our live shopping and you'll see some live shopping happening this week with the birthday sale. Thanks a lot, sale. Okay, moving on. I think further to traffic, Takealot recently introduced a customer loyalty initiative called Takealot More. I won't go into too much detail in here, but essentially we've got a subscription-based customer service loyalty program where they can pay a small amount of money, either on the minor or the major plan, and essentially they get access to a certain number of same day and next day collection options. And they also get a certain number of large appliance, door-to-door deliveries, and they also get some benefits across Mr. D. So I think if you ask, what are we doing to attract more customers to Takealot? I think customer loyalty is a major play in today's retail game, and Takealot More just really helps to get the customer excited and loyal to the system of, I like same day, next day delivery, and also occasionally buy large items from Takealot. I prefer to be on a subscription than paying a small fee for that premium that we essentially offer our customers. And these benefits do also extend to the Mr. D, which is a separate app. Unfortunately, I won't touch on Mr. D today, but the Mr. D platform, it extends to that as well. Moving on, I think just touching on, just close off this point, why invest in Takealot's marketplace? So this just talks to, why decide to sell on a marketplace online rather or let's say in conjunction with your own online store. I think it's very important to note that when you go online and you do your own e-commerce store, it's easier than ever to do it, right? There's so much resources and systems available for businesses like yourselves to create an online store and start trading. The key thing why Takealot or a marketplace like Takealot is important is that when you look into the e-commerce market or sector, if you want to call it that, we generate a huge percentage of traffic. So if you are doing your own online store, the challenges that you're going to have is really access to market and generating traffic. And generating traffic can be quite expensive. or it scales quite a lot when you're using Google and the likes of Facebook. So again, just being on Takealot, you're getting a large portion to traffic. And I want you to think about it like this quickly, this analogy, if we can say. In the retail game, when you want to get access to marketing and more customers, at least in the physical space, is you're going to go open up a store, but hopefully you're going to open up that physical store in an area that's got traffic. And that today is why major malls and squares are so beneficial, is that they give you that access to traffic, right? So, similar to when opening a physical store, do you go into a quiet street where there's no traffic, or do you go into the major malls where there is traffic? So I think of Takealot like that. We're a mall with more than, let's say, 9,000 stores in our mall, and customers can come to Takealot, shop many different products, and get free delivery within their order. Great. Okay, so that just kind of talks to the major points of Takealot and why marketplace. I think let's jump into how the marketplace works. So essentially, what a marketplace does, if we just move on, it gives you access to more than 3.7 million customers. So yes, we've got more than 3.7 million customers shopping from us in the last while. That's really unparalleled. If we talk about the steps on how to sell on Takealot, it's quite simple. You'll start as a business or a seller with some products to sell. You'll go onto our website. At the top of the website, we've got a link that's called Sell on Takealot, with a page explaining just the basic fees and everything. You'll then apply. Please give us as much information as possible. We hope to come back to sellers, generally speaking, within 3 working days. And what will happen is, if you're accepted, we'll register a seller account for you. You'll then get essentially an email with a registration link where you'll create a password, log into a seller portal. When you log into your seller portal for the first time, you'll need to upload documents. I haven't touched on this yet, but the good news is that individuals, i.e. sole traders, and businesses can sell on Takealot, and you do not need a VAT number to sell on Takealot. So if you're an individual, you don't have a business, but you've got great products to sell, you can apply as an individual. But essentially in the registration, you'll upload documents. Now, if you're an individual, it will just be a ID or passport. You'll have to fill in a debit order mandate, which I'll explain to you shortly, and 1 or 2 other bits of information that you'll upload. You'll then do onboarding tutorials, which is 30 to 60 minutes of videos and guides explaining how to sell on Takealot. You'll then go and create listings. So create a product listing which best represents your product. For creating product listings, you will need images on a white background. You'll need to create a title, create a description. And if you have a brand, you can put a brand in on the product. And after you create listings, you will learn how to ship to Takealot. Now, I've dropped quite a bit of information there, and this can be sent to you guys after the webinar. But essentially, everything I'm speaking about, you're supported by Takealot in 1 of 2 ways. 1, when you register on Takealot, we've got dedicated onboarding assistants, which will email you regularly to explain to you the next steps, and they're there to guide you go through the platform. And in addition to having individuals helping you with onboarding, you'll also have access to webinars. Just like this, we host webinars essentially every day of the week. So we have catalog webinars, how to create listings, and how to send stock to Takealot. Moving on, when you sell on Takealot, I think a very important part is understanding, how do my goods get from me to the customer? So simply put, you will, after you've created your listings, you'll decide to sell in stock or lead time. You will need to get stock to Takealot at your cost or your expense. To get stock to Takealot, you can drive yourself to the Johannesburg or Cape Town DC. You can use a courier of your choice, or you can use a Takealot preferred courier. I suggest when getting stock to Takealot, so that we can fulfill your stock around the country, you make use of a preferred courier, which is the likes of the Courier Guy, MDS, Laser. There's a couple. We've got about 10 preferred couriers, and essentially using the preferred courier, they'll give you preferential rates to get stock to us, and they also understand the operational impact involved of getting stock to Takealot. But once you figure that out, you can decide to sell in stock or lead time. So if I explain in stock and lead time briefly, in stock means that you elect to send stock to our Johannesburg and Cape Town DCs. The stock will stay at our DCs on consignment. So what does consignment mean? Takealot never owns your stock on the marketplace side of the business. You decide the listings you want to place onto Takealot, or the product, should we say. You control what pricing you sell at. And what Takealot essentially does is we fulfill sales. So we generate sales for you on the Takealot platform. And when a customer purchases a product, we fulfill or deliver that product from our distribution center in Johannesburg and Cape Town to the customer anywhere in South Africa. So in stock, essentially, you'll decide to send stock to us. Again, you decide what products and how much stock to send to Takealot. That's in your control. And the benefit of being in stock is that your sales are greatly increased. Those products qualify for next day and same day delivery, and the conversion rate on in-stock products, again, much higher. The other option is lead time. Okay, so lead time essentially means that you keep stock on your own premises, or maybe you manufacture to order. That's also an option. But lead time essentially means you keep stock on your own premises, and you tell our system how much stock you have of a specific product. The product will be live on our platform. It will say on the product, ships in 3 to 5 working days. And when a customer purchases that product from Takealot, they pay Takealot upfront. We send you, as the seller, an email or an order essentially saying, please fulfill this order to this DC, Joburg or Cape Town. And you'll essentially send it to the Cape Town or Johannesburg DC. We'll receive it. We'll consolidate the customer's order, because often customers are buying many items in one order, with your product just being one of the items in the order. And we'll essentially ship your item to the customer as part of their order. Now with lead time, our standard lead time is 3 working days. So that essentially means if you get an order today on a Monday, you need to ship that order to us by Thursday COB. Now, for sellers who are selling custom-made goods, and this is also very specific to Proudly SA's initiative we want to drive with Proudly SA. If you're custom making goods or goods made to order, that's also possible on Takealot. You can do that. You can apply for a longer lead time. In terms of extended lead times, we can go up to 10 working days to start off with, but we'd want to bring that down over time. So I think specifically for furniture type of sellers, it might take you 5 to 6 working days to actually manufacture an item. If you're on 10 working days with Takealot, you can essentially get the order from Takealot, take 6 days to manufacture, take a day or 2 to get the stock to us, because if you're on 10 working day lead time, it means if you get order on Monday, you've essentially got 2 weeks to get the order to us so we can fulfill it to the customer. With lead time, cancellations can still happen. I mean, you do need to get the stock to us on time. That's very important. And it's important because we want to keep the customer promise intact. We want to deliver a good experience. So I hope that just wraps up in-stock lead time. Just the last point on in-stock lead time, you can do both. Okay, so what that means is, so I'm going to pick up the product closest to me, this mouse. It means on this mouse, you can have this product active on Takealot by sending stock to our DC. You could have 10 units in stock. You can also have this product activated on lead time, which means if the item sells out of our DC, you can fulfill orders on a lead time basis. You will need to tell our system how much stock units you have, and you will need to tell our system you want to activate the product on lead time. And what that means is when this product sells out of stock in the Cape Town or Joburg DC, you can start fulfilling orders on lead time. So you can send your stock on back order, essentially, to our DCs. Just remember, lead time, which again means if you get an order on Monday and it's on lead time, you need to deliver the order to our Johannesburg or Cape Town DC on Thursday, which would essentially be 1, 2, 3. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But essentially, you can sell in stock and lead time at the same time. And if you have 100 products on Takealot, you can choose, your top 10 selling products you can keep in stock. And the other 90 products that don't sell as well, we still recommend listing it with us. But if it's not selling that fast, there's no point in sending us stock. So you can keep those products on lead time. And when you get an order, you essentially fulfill. Just bear in mind that you need to keep stock updated and you need to be able to fulfill orders within 3 working days. Okay, I'm sure there'll be lots of questions on that at the end, but for now, let's move on. Okay, let's get into the fees. I think they're very important. So I think right now what we've captured is Takealot platform, what we do, our customer base and the checkout. I've explained applying and registering on Takealot. I explained the in-stock versus fulfillment model. And just the last reminder, Takealot does all fulfillment. So we fulfill all orders from our DC to the customer, and you as a seller fulfill all stock and lead time orders to our DCs. And the benefits, again, of that is that we can perform quick delivery. But I think more importantly, a customer can purchase, from 10 different product listings and get free delivery and get all their items arrive in one order. Okay, so on the fees, and this is where some of our incentives come out at the moment. The first one is the okay, so when you open an account with Takealot, we will charge you a standard monthly subscription fee charged on the first of every month. Now, what this means is you can do onboarding and understand how to sell with us before we charge you a subscription fee. But essentially, on the first of each month, after you've created product listings, we'll charge you a 400 Rand per month subscription fee. This is also where our incentive comes out. If you onboard this month as a seller and go live before the end of this month, you won't pay any subscription fees until the end of August. In addition to that, we also have a program running for our historically disadvantaged persons. So if you're a business and you as an individual are an historically disadvantaged person, or your business is more than 51% historically disadvantaged, you won't pay any subscription fees for your first 3 months. So again, there's two different incentives running at the moment. If you go live right now this month as a seller, you won't pay until end of August. Alternatively, if you're an historically disadvantaged person or your business is more than 51% HDP, you won't pay subscription fees for your first 3 months. But wait, there's more. We'll also offer historically disadvantaged persons additional sponsored ads credits, which I'll get into now. And we'll also give you access to specific promotions and curating and merchandising incentives, essentially, for HDPs and for our proudly South African members. Okay, let's move on to the next fee. Success fee. So when you sell a product on Takealot, there's 2 major fees we're going to charge you for every product unit you sell on Takealot, and I want to break these up. The first is the success fee. Think of it as our commission we're going to charge you. The commission we charge you is going to range from 6% all the way up to 18% on your selling price. Remember, you control each product selling price completely. And so we'll charge you a success fee every time a sale is made. And again, that will range from 6% all the way up to 18%, but it normally sits somewhere in the middle of about 10-12% across most of the categories. And this success fee includes the costs to generate the sale, take payments from customers, and other support. Then the other fee we'll charge you per unit is a fulfillment fee. The fulfillment fee will start from 20 Rand per unit, and it goes up if you're selling much bigger, larger items. Why do we charge a fulfillment fee? I think it's very important that we explain this. So our customers get free delivery for orders above 500 Rand. And with that free delivery that we offer customers to drive adoption and drive sales, there's a cost attached to that free delivery. Essentially, what we do is we take that cost per order. Okay, let's say it's 100 Rand, not that it is. And we basically break it down into each unit in the customer's order. And essentially, each unit in a customer's order or basket gets charged a small fulfillment fee. So again, I'll just reiterate, a fulfillment fee gets charged to the seller for every unit sold on Takealot. And it starts from 20 Rand ex-VAT, and it goes all the way up to 360 Rand if you're selling very large items. Okay, now, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, geez, I sell small items like hair clips or items under 50 or 100 Rand. That's a very valid point. What our sellers who are successful on Takealot do is, because there's that minimum fulfillment fee per unit, when they list their products on Takealot, they don't sell lower priced items. They will go and create a listing on Takealot that is a bundle or a pack size, right? So if you go look at, maybe it's a poor example, maybe it's a good example. If we sell, Coca-Cola, right? Our sellers will list the product as a case pack. So they'll package it as a case pack, and they'll list it on Takealot as a case pack. So when you go through Takealot and you look at all the listings, you'll see, instead of selling, again, a small can, case pack. So they'll see an image of a case or lots of units. The selling price will be, I don't know, let's say 199. And so for that unit, we'll charge you one fulfillment fee for that whole unit. Just bear in mind, if you are going to list bundles and pack sizes, please make sure your listing shows that you're buying a bundle pack size and that the product is actually packaged like that, because that's how the item needs to be received. Okay, so those are the major fees. We do have some other fees that I'll touch on. Okay, so storage fees. Now, I think it's very important to note that you can stock Takealot and you do get free storage at Takealot. we offer you 35 days cover worth of free storage. If you've exceeded your stock days cover, i.e., what does that mean? You've got more units than you're selling in a 35-day period, then we'll charge you a small fee per unit. That fee starts from R2 per unit per month. And if I give you a very brief description of what storage fees or what stock days cover is, I'm going to try and explain it like this. If I'm selling 100 of these a month, okay, and Takealot offers you 35-day stock cover free, that means you can keep 114 units in our DCs on this product based on your sales rate before you get charged anything. If I go over to 115 or 116 units, I'm now exceeding 35-day stock cover and I get charged. So I'll leave that point there, but essentially what it means is all sellers get free storage, provided you're stocking us with what your 30-day sales rate is. As soon as you exceed that, you'll get charged a small fee. It's not much. It's R2 per unit per month. And that essentially covers the cost of storing your products in Takealot. I won't touch on the rest of the fees too much because these can all be avoided. But essentially, if you want to remove stock, you can remove stock. It's also about R2.50 per unit to remove stock. Essentially, it covers the cost of picking and packing your goods. If you're selling on lead time and you don't fulfill customer orders, that is a major customer impact. Customers obviously don't like purchasing products and not getting them. So we do have a small order cancellation penalty. And then just the last fee, again, completely avoidable, interbranch transfers. We do require sellers to stock our Joburg and Cape Town DCs. You can do this easily by using a preferred courier. If you've overstocked a DC or you're understocked in a DC and we need to move goods between our DCs to fulfill customer sales, there is a small fee per unit. I think the way our sellers see this is that if they're now understocked in Cape Town because they got the stock wrong, they don't mind us IBTing a unit from Joburg to Cape Town to fulfill an order within Cape Town. The option is then they need to send the stock to Cape Town themselves at their cost. So it's essentially seen as a service. Okay, so those are the fees in a nutshell. I think we can just move on to the rest of the points, and I do want to just check the time. Okay, I need to close off soon so we can get into questions. Okay, how often do you get paid? Another lovely thing about Takealot, you get paid every week. Not just 4 times a month, every Thursday you get paid out. Just an asterisk there, please. If you're a new seller, your first payment will only be 14 days after your first sale. But thereafter your first sale, you get paid out every week on a Thursday. The other thing you need to know is we do hang on to 3 days worth of sales before we pay you out. So if you made a sale on, for example, Sunday and it shipped, you'll get paid out on that Thursday. But if your sale shipped on the Wednesday before the Thursday, we'll hang on to that money and we'll pay you out on the next cycle, which is the following Thursday. So just to close off that point, you get paid out every Thursday on successful shipped sales. Great. I'll just move past this. The success fees, guys, you can find that on our website on Sell on Takealot at the top. So I'll just move past this point. The fulfillment fees, I spoke about it earlier. If you're selling food and cleaning products and they're small, they're less than 30 kilograms and less than 7 kilograms, you'll get charged a R20 fulfillment fee. But if you're selling bigger goods in other categories, the fulfillment fee per unit is increased. So please do refer to this document. Stock days cover. Then I just want to touch on the minimum operational requirements, how to grow your account, and just reiterate any last points. So now I've discussed the whole platform end to end. What are some things you need to know and you need to be aware of in selling with Takealot? So prohibited items, don't list any products that are prohibited or dangerous on Takealot. We do have a list you can go through in your onboarding. I think further than that, further than the list we publish, it's very, very important for sellers to stay up to date with regulatory laws. You know, if you're selling products that have a plug, that generally requires an NRCS LOA. If you're selling products that have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, those products generally need ecommerce approvals. If you're selling medical devices, those products need SAPRA approvals. So just stay up to date with what's going on in your categories that you're selling. We do try to keep sellers updated, but unfortunately, we don't move as fast as the regulatory bodies. So stay up to date. Returns policy, Takealot will deal with all the returns. What does that mean? We go and fetch products from customers, do returns evaluations, and make approvals on yes or no if we accept the returns. Laptop and internet access. I wish you could sell on your mobile device only. Some sellers do. I don't know how they do it. But essentially, you do need a laptop or a PC, and you do need a printer because you're going to need to print out labels so you can label your products. Microsoft Excel, yes, you're going to need Excel to create listings. You're also going to need Excel to download reports. Just the last 2 points, barcoding and labeling. So the great thing about selling on Takealot right now, at least today, is that you don't need GS1 or barcodes to list goods on Takealot. You can just list the goods on Takealot without barcodes for time being. Takealot will always generate its own unique label / barcode for your product. And when you create your shipment to send stock to Takealot, you will print out our barcodes on a 45-up label sheet and put them on the outside of each product. You'll follow our shipment process, send a shipment of goods to Takealot, we'll receive it and send it to the customer. And then the last one, which I spoke about earlier, so that Takealot can distribute nationally, we do require sellers to ship their stock or their lead time orders, either or, to Joburg and Cape Town and soon to Durban. Again, this is not difficult if you're using a preferred courier. And just by the way, when you're sending, more than 5 or 10 units in one box, the cost per unit is significantly reduced rather than sending one unit. So when you compare this model to selling in your own online store, where there's a fixed cost to deliver every order, you're making big savings on sending bulk stock to Takealot. Then just some other operational requirements or SLAs that you need to be aware of is don't cancel too many lead time orders, deliver on time. We do allow some lenience on late and cancellations, but you really want to ensure that if you make a product available to purchase on Takealot, that you can fulfill it to Johannesburg and Cape Town within 3 working days, or if you're selling custom goods, whatever your custom lead time is. Respond to Takealot within 2 working days if there is customer queries. Keep a low return rate. That just means keep an eye on your product quality, and not just your product quality. Make sure your listing on Takealot best represents what that physical product is that the customer's getting. And then faulty deliveries. You always want to deliver to us in full and on time. And then I think I'll just finish off on the growth or just seller portal. So when we create a seller portal for you, you can add multiple users to your portal to manage your accounts. We do have an API. What does API mean? Is if you want to integrate your Takealot seller account with other software to, like, for example, auto update price and stock, you can do that. We have an API. You can check sales, create shipments, you can export reports, log tickets, etc. So the seller portal is quite functional. You can log in any time of day and check your sales. It's a fantastic portal. Then just account growth. I spoke about a lot of the operational stuff. On account growth, any seller can take part in our daily deals and promotions. So if you guys shop daily deals and promotions and you've got a great product you want to place on there, we do not charge sellers to take part in promotions. All we do ask is that when you apply to put a product on daily deals and other promotions pages like Blue Dot Sale, Thanks a Lot Sale, Ultimate Checkout, that you do offer our customer base a unique limited discount. So if you're selling this product normally for $2.99 and you want to access daily deals, we do need a discounted price. So for example, $2.79 or $2.89, etc. And then just the last account growth tool. It's not just daily deals that you can use to grow your brand and your products. We do have sponsored ads. So sponsored ads is essentially a way you can get your product listing to the top of a customer search. So if you sell earphones or headphones and you've got a new product and it's at the bottom of the rankings because it hasn't built up sales yet, we will give you 1,000 Rand free sponsored ads credit. So all the sellers in this call get 1,000 Rand free sponsored credit. Then in addition to that, for our historically disadvantaged persons, you'll get an additional 2,000 Rand free sponsored ads credit on top of the 1,000 Rand, etc. And then I think just the last one, and this is very unique to Proudly South African, the offering that we're offering, the USPs that we're putting together for Proudly South Africa continues to grow. So we'll give you guys access to more than just daily deals and everything, specific pages on Takealot made for Proudly SA, as well as specific promotions. So we are, as we grow this thing and work with Proudly South African sellers, we are creating more merchandising space to showcase products that are Proudly SA, and that's basically just a joint effort between us, our commercial team, and the Proudly SA sellers. And I think the details around flagging to Takealot if you're Proudly SA will come through in future communications. Yeah, that's just what sponsored ads looks like. I think that's it. That's my slide done. We've got 15 minutes. So I'll ask Taryn or someone just to talk to how we can answer any questions. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Alexander. I think it's very exciting, all the special offers that you guys have put together for Proudly South African members. It's going to be very helpful for the companies, especially the ones that aren't enlisted on Takealot already. I'm going to hand over to my events team just to run through some of the questions that people have put into the chat box. So, Lesego, do you just want to let us know of some of the questions that have come up, please?
So some of the questions so there was someone who was asking whether you Takealot has freezers at their site. That was the first question.
Great question. So no, we don't have freezers, and we don't have, as they call, cold chain storage at all. I'm going to plug our sister company here, and I'm going to say, if you have a physical store in I'm going to call it an urban area of South Africa, I would say head over to Mr. D, our sister company. What they can do is they don't have cold chain, but they do instant delivery, on-demand delivery. So if you have a store in a specific area that has cold chain or freezers, you can list on the Mr. D app, and essentially people in that area can purchase your product on the Mr. D app, and one of the Mr. D drivers will pick up from the store and deliver to the customers. And if you're used to Mr. D, you know that delivery is like normally less than 60 minutes. I'm going to say 30 odd minutes. So they can do that on the Mr. D app. Unfortunately, today we don't have cold chain or freezers in our DC. I hope that answers it.
Okay, thank you. I hope the question is then answered. So the other question is, I'm struggling with accessing the sellers portal. Takealot approved everything, but can access the sellers portal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to rephrase that one.
I'm struggling with accessing the sellers portal. Takealot approved everything, but I can't access the sellers portal.
Okay. I'll have to probably get the detail of the specific person asking it, but so generally what happens is we have an application process first. So sellers apply, and then we do a quick preview of what the seller has to offer. And then we register a lot of our applications, but essentially some of the applications get converted into registrations. And at that point, the seller will get an email from us with a link. So I think if you are having issues accessing, or perhaps your application lapsed or it was declined for some reason because there wasn't enough info, I'm going to give you an email which gets monitored by someone in my team. If you can email seller-inquiries@takealot.com, just say you were at the Proudly SA Takealot webinar, you did apply, you don't have access to the seller portal, let's look into it, because it could be that, again, application lapse. It could also be that we registered an incorrect email for you, because we do ask for 2 email addresses on the application, so I'd have to look into that specific one.
Okay. So the next question was from Karen, and it says, "Hi, is your distribution the same for beverages?"
Yes, so whether you're so just on I guess beverages or sellers who do sell food, just on the regulatory side of things, the sellers do have to have a food acceptability certificate, which they normally get from their local government office. But if you have that, and you, for example, are a food only seller, the experience for you is going to be almost identical to other sellers who sell in other categories. I mean, we even have sellers who sell X type of goods and then also sell food at the same time. And the process of selling on Takealot is really the same as any other category. I think the only major difference I can think of, there's 2 actually. So the one I touched on is food acceptability certificate, i.e. You've got a permit to store and sell food. And then so the second one is expiry dates. So anytime you sell anything that I guess a human ingests, a product should typically have an expiry date. And one tip there is that the expiry date has to be on the on the outer facing unit. So if I pick up this product and it's packaged a certain way, we need to see the expiry date on the outer packaging of every unit. So when the product comes to inbound, they can actually check before they accept the product into our supply chain that it hasn't expired or it's not going to expire soon. So I hope that answers that.
Okay, the next question is from Anonymous. Hi, I've been struggling to complete my listing on Takealot for a year. Is there someone that can assist me to finalize listing?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I think just on listings, I'll just explain to the whole audience what that process entails. So on this call, I'd like to say it's as simple as, image, title, etc. We do have some rules in creating listings, and I think the point behind that is that if we look at what the ideal or perfect listing is, you'll see our rules all resonate against this is the ideal listing, and so you'll need images on a white background. You can also have other images that are not on a white background. So your main image will be product outside of packaging, white background, and then you can have secondary lifestyle type images, title, a brand, description, attributes, etc. Where sellers generally have failures is we'll have specific rules. I mean, I'll give you an example. To avoid customers returning goods that they think is incorrect, one of the rules we have is that if you say your product is branded, right? The simple things that our catalog agents look for when approving a listing, and again, I'm going to pick up this mouse and I'm going to try and put it closer to the camera here, is it says Logi, which is Logitech, right? They're essentially looking at this, does the physical product, is it branded as per the brand that the sellers put into the listing? So that's just like a simple rule that you wouldn't think of when creating a listing. But I think to answer this question and this individual, we do have personalized onboarding assistants. You should be getting emails from them every week. If you're not getting emails from them every week, it means you potentially opted out of our mails, you unsubscribed. But essentially that person, and I can say this out loud, whether it's Bianca or Margo or Chad or whatever the case is, you can respond to that email and say, hi, I'm having issues correcting this rejected listing. What am I doing wrong? What rule do I need to? And then there's typically a way to fix any listing. I mean, if you don't have an image on a white background, you can do it yourself. You can get a photographer. These days, you can take a photo with your smartphone and use like an free AI tool online at your own risk to essentially clear the background of the image, right? So typically speaking, wherever there's a rejection, we can help you. I think just respond back. If you've responded back to onboarding and you feel you haven't got results, I'm going to kindly ask you to email seller-inquiries@takealot.com. Say, listen, I attended the Takealot Proudly SA webinar. They said I can reach out this for catalog assistance, and the person monitoring the inbox will forward you to the correct onboarding agent so they can guide you on how to correct the listing.
So the next question is from Musibudi. Where is the Joburg DC?
They're both in Kempton Park. They're about 500 meters from each other. There's two DCs. So we've got DC1, DC2. And the only difference between them is one does small goods, one does large goods, but both in Kempton Park, 500 meters away.
Okay. The next question is from Anonymous. What is minimum stock per item is required to qualify as a supplier? Does Takealot have a different offering to SMMEs and startups?
I think you said how does it differ to being a supplier? So I can't comment too much on the initiatives that our retail team works on. But being a supplier, if I talk about just retail and supplier, I mean, I guess it's very similar to any other. It's very similar to other setups around the country. If you're supplying another retail store, so on the retail supplier side, we've got a retail buying team whose job it is to sell goods, but they really focus on, I guess, established products, whether it's an established brand or not. And the way they work is you get in touch with one of the buyers. If they're interested, you send out terms to you. They kind of agree as like how much margin should they take. So you go back and forth on what cost price there should be. If the retail team agrees, okay, yes, I want to buy your products, I agree with the cost price, etc. You'll sign terms and all those normal things. They'll onboard you as a supplier, and essentially they'll agree to buy X amount of stock from you, see how it sells, and they'll keep adapting their approach with you as a supplier. So, I mean, that's the supplier side. I can't talk to any initiatives they have in regards to Proudly SA. Although I will say, you know, on the Proudly SA side of things, those merchandising landing pages and the additional exposure we're giving to our Proudly SA members should be the same. So that I can say that, but the retail supply side is a slightly different kettle of fish.
Thank you. The next point is from Mobile. Says, good morning. Thank you so much for the great presentation from Takealot. Is there a guide of what products can be sold or can be sold on Takealot? Second question, can I sell a service on Takealot?
Yeah, so the first question, the compliance guide, is when you registered on Takealot, right? And you've done your registration, you'll be forced to go through an onboarding page of videos and tutorials. So I've got 4 minutes left in this room. And there we will surface the compliance guide to you. But then further down in your onboarding journey, the onboarding guide, it's a document essentially that's hosted online that will make its way to you. So if you look at the compliance guide, it essentially prohibits the things you can't do and the products that you can't sell. So there's certain products we can't sell online. We can't sell scheduled medicines. There's a lot of regulatory law related stuff we can't sell. Then in addition to that, there's just products that Takealot does not want to sell at all. So they'll all be under compliance guide of unsuitable products. Sorry, if you can just repeat the second part of that question.
The second question, can I sell a service on Takealot?
So no, unfortunately, you can't sell services on Takealot. We do have some services that is being done currently on the retail side of our business, but it's not a major focus of ours right now. The only exception I can say to that, because it is in our compliance guide, is we have, for example, a DSTV Explorer that can be purchased as a physical product on Takealot. And DSTV also offers an installation for that physical product, which gets done by DSTV. But before you can offer that with service, especially, what we would do is just double check what coverage do you have. Can a customer who buys this in Carcamas, as example, get the same experience? So I think for the time being, I'm going to say no, you can't sell services. If you have a proposal, I'll be glad to look at it. That's all I can say for now.
Okay, the next question is from Roger. Do you have minimum quantity requirement for book CPAS? For example, what minimum quantity will I need to supply your JKHB and CPT DCs?
Yeah, okay. So when you sell on Marketplace, Takealot does not adhere to your minimum order value or minimum order units, which typically happens when you're a supplier to major suppliers. However, that being said, so we don't adhere to it because, for example, if you go live on Takealot with one product on lead time, right? And the customer orders that one product on lead time and you've just started out, you need to fulfill that one product to our DC within 3 days. You have to essentially adhere to the SLA that you have with Takealot, right? So again, we can't adhere to a minimum order value or minimum order units, okay? But that being said, most sellers on our platform, if they've got a good product to sell, they might have to fulfill 1 unit in the first week, but they should get to scale quite quickly, i.e. their sales should pick up fast, right? And so we won't have to adhere to a minimum order value on your end because you'll be able to get a whole bunch of units together on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, put them in one shipment and ship them to us. So I think what I'm trying to say is you've got to take a bit of a risk when you start out with Takealot. Yes, you might have to ship one product in your first week, but we hope and pray that by second, third, fourth week, your sales has picked up and you naturally are shipping bigger volumes to Takealot. That's what happens for most sellers anyway. So I hope that answers the question.
The next question is the 400 monthly subscription fee apply to everyone or all the businesses?
Yeah, so the subscription fee applies to everyone who comes onto Marketplace. Everyone signs the same agreement on Takealot Marketplace. We've got a standard terms, standard pricing schedule, etc. So everyone shares the same SLAs, the same terms, the same fees, etc. The only exception I can bring up to that is that we have currently a subscription fee incentive for all sellers at the moment. If you onboard this month, which may or may not get extended. And then in addition, for our historically disadvantaged sellers, we do have an incentive there where those sellers who can give us the necessary documents to prove they are historically disadvantaged, an affidavit or BE certificate, they'll get 3 months off their subscription fees. Plus, they get other benefits such as additional free sponsored ad spend. And that's the only exception that I can talk to. But yes, everyone signs the same agreement, same pricing schedule.
Yeah. The next question is from Anonymous. In terms of pricing, what percentage does Takealot charge per product? Are we charged inventory fee? Should a product be slow moving?
Yeah, so we've got the standard fees I went through earlier. I think I'll have to chat to Taryn and the Proud SA team if they can kindly share the PDF with everyone. But it's a monthly subscription fee. It gets charged the first of every month. And then we've got the 2 fees, success fee and fulfillment fees for every unit you sell. On the storage fee side of things, which is a variable side fee, everyone gets free storage if they've stocked us correctly. So another example of stocking us correctly, if you sell 5 units per month on a specific product, you can keep 5 units in stock with us or less and not get charged anything. But as soon as you go, 6 units, now you've overstocked us. You've got more stock with us than what your 30-day sales rate is. Then you start incurring a storage fee, and that storage fee starts from R2 per unit per month. So at the end of the month, if you've got a product, 100 units in stock, you only sold 5 of that product in the month. That means you've grossly overstocked on that product. Got 100 in stock, you sold 5 this month. Essentially, what we're going to do is, if it's a small item, we're going to charge you R2 per unit per month. So it's going to be R2 times 100 units. It's going to be 200 Rand that we charge you at the end of the month. And that simply covers you the cost of actually keeping stock at our DC. Versus if you're selling 5 units a month and you kept 4 or 5 units in stock with us, you wouldn't get charged any fees. You can essentially keep keeping stock at our DC and not get charged a cent. So we do have sellers, sitting with hundreds of R1,000 stock in our DC. They get charged little to no storage fees because they manage it correctly. If they're selling 30 units a month, they make sure they got 30 in stock. And what they do is, when their stock starts selling out in Takealot, they just slightly top us up all the time. They don't go and send 2 months worth of stock. They send 2 weeks worth of stock and then top us up and top us up. So if you're topping up frequently and you have an eye on your sales, you should be fine.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is from Anonymous. Hi, thanks for the presentation. I'd like to know, since I saw on your slides a PPC, do you have any other benefits like PPC advertising for your sellers to push digital marketing on our products?
Yeah, so I think just talking to PPC might have come up when we brought up sponsored ads. Okay, so sponsored ads is a tool. It's a tool built inside your seller portal to help you take your products on Takealot and boost them, right? So if you want to I'll give you an example. If you're selling a toothbrush, right, and you're competing against the big guys, the big players, the big brands, right, and you're just struggling a little bit. I mean, sponsored ads is built specifically for sellers like the people on this forum, right? Is that you can take your product and now you can boost it essentially to the top of a search by paying a little bit of money. So essentially what you'll do is you create a campaign first. In the campaign, you choose how much you want to spend. Now, again, we're going to give you some free credit you can use. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to create, I sell lots of products, but I'm going to create a toothbrush campaign. I'm going to put my 5 toothbrushes in this campaign. I'm going to choose a total budget. I'm going to choose an ROI, i.e. how aggressive I want to be on spending. And then I can fine tune this campaign. For example, I can target specific keywords. I can say, I want to target the keyword red toothbrush, okay? Because that's what I think people are going to search for in my product. And you'll essentially set up the campaign or run on auto, up to you. And you're going to click run. And what it's going to do, it's going to boost your product listings on the Takealot platform. It's not going to extend beyond the Takealot platform. For that, you'd need to do Google PPC and Facebook yourself and then direct it to Takealot. But listen, I'm hoping in the next few years we have a tool that you can actually set up your advertising in Takealot that extends beyond the Takealot platform. So that's the sponsored ad side of things that helps you to boost listings, not just in the search, but if someone lands on a product way down, further down in the product, you can show them similar options that are sponsored. I do need to exit this room. So I am over time here. So I'm just going to quickly switch off my audio and video for 5 seconds.
Hi everyone, I'm just going to come in here while we wait for Alexander just to move rooms. He's just trying to find another quiet place there in the office. So I think, as we mentioned before, the webinar is open at the moment for both Proudly South African members and companies who are not members already. So there were quite a few incentives that Alexander's offered during the course of the webinar. So if you want to take those offers up, please become Proudly South African members. You're welcome to send me an email and then I will direct you towards the membership department. My email is Taryn, Taryn, @proudlysa.co.za. If you also have any other queries that you feel haven't been answered, I know we are going to start running short on time. You're also welcome to drop me an email. I will forward it on to Alexander and we can see how best we can resolve it. We can share the presentation as well with you. So if any of you would like the presentation, I know quite a few members did say they managed to log in a bit late, so you did miss the beginning of the webinar. If you want the presentation as well, please drop me an email. And then as soon as I have the presentation from Alexander, I will send it forward to everyone. There's quite a lot of information in it. He did run through a few of the slides when it came to fulfillment fees, monthly fees, storage fees, the products that you can enlist on Takealot, you can't enlist on Takealot. Quite a lot of that information is in the presentation. So I know there has been quite a few questions in the Q&A box around those specific requirements. So a lot of that information is in the presentation. I can send that forward to you as soon as he gets it through to me. What else could we run through while we wait for him? Some of the questions he can only answer, unfortunately, that I'm seeing here. Nasejo, is there only questions in the Q&A box or is there anything in the chat box? Because I can't see the chat box from my side.
So it's basically on the Q&A. So there was 2 large questions, and the first question is, does Takealot sell to SADC countries? And the next question is, will previously disadvantage include women in business?
Yeah, and so Alexander's going to have to answer those questions. I'm sure he'll be back online in the next few minutes because he jumped into one of the boardroom just to get some quiet there at the office. So I'm sure he'll be with us shortly. But I mean, if anyone's got any other questions, you're welcome to type it in the Q&A box. We'll try and get to it. If we don't, like I said, you're welcome to drop it in an email to myself and I can get Alexander just to answer it for you. But let's give him another 1 or 2 minutes just to find a quiet spot there that he can see if he can get through all the questions for you guys.
Apologies about that.
No problem.
Cool. So I think I ended off with a question there. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so there's a couple of questions that have come through. I know a couple of members joined a bit late, so some of the stuff is, around monthly fees and fulfillment fees that is in the presentation. But I'm going to run through a couple of them that have come through now. One of our members would like to know, would previously disadvantaged include women business owners?
So there is to try and explain it, the HTP program, it's got milestones and progress. I think the short answer is yes. By the end of July, we will have an HTP program that looks at other factors as well, women, also people or individuals and businesses in rural areas. So I'm going to say the short answer is yes. I just can't say what that extends to as yet. But I think what we can commit to is when we have a greater offering, not just for Proudly SA members, I think for HTP as a whole. What we're glad to do is share that with you so that you can share it with the Proudly SA members.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. And then a question is coming, do you sell to SADC countries?
No, not yet. I can't say if or when that would happen. It's a great question, but no, we don't do anything beyond the borders.
I have an anonymous question here. Can I sell as a business and as an individual at the same time?
No, when you create an account with us, it needs to be in a specific entity's name, business or personal. Generally speaking, we don't allow additional accounts. That being said, I say don't allow. We can look at it under review. So if you have applied before, if you've got multiple accounts and you noticed that one of your applications got rejected, that is standard. I think if there is a very good reason why you need to have more than one account. If there's different businesses, that's perfectly fine. Where we find it's in multiple accounts, the same business or the same individual, it generally auto gets declined. But I think if you have a specific reason why you might need it, again, I'll ask you just to email seller-inquiries@Takealot. Just please put in there that you were at the Proudly SA Takealot webinar, you had this question, you'd like to chat about it, and our team that oversees applications can process that email and deal with it.
Okay, perfect. I see there's a logistics question that's coming, but I know you guys do have your own trucks and stuff that you use. Does Takealot hire trucks for deliveries from external service providers?
Oh, I'm being tested on these questions today. Yes, I believe. So we own more than 400 of our own trucks. I'm quite certain that we rent trucks from certain businesses. I can't say who those are. Yeah, I think if there is a question that someone wants to take further there, what I'm going to ask is that person or individual goes to the bottom of our website. There should be a link called Become a Driver. And put the query there, and the team that deals with Takealot delivery and Mr. D and everything can deal with any queries that come through there.
Okay, perfect. Just trying to see if there's anything let's say, is there anything you can see we haven't mentioned in the chat?
Oh, there's nothing on my side.
Okay, perfect. So I think, Alexander, perhaps the next way forward is to maybe send me your presentation, if you wouldn't mind. Then I can forward it to everyone who would like it, especially for those who managed to join in a bit late and missed the beginning of the webinar. I've also said that if anyone has any questions they want to ask, they can forward it to myself, and then I can forward it to yourself and your team, and we can see how best we can answer those questions. I'm not sure if there's a specific email address people can use to contact someone on your side, but I'm sure maybe we can just, between myself and you, we can work out the best way forward, and then I can send through perhaps a letter of all the next steps forward when it comes to applying onto Takealot through the incentives that you've offered the Proudly South African members. No, can't hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. Sorry. Yes. So what I'm glad to do for you is I'll share the presentation for you. I think what I'll also do is I'll put together some tips together specifically for Proudly SA members, and just some tips that will help you stand out, especially where you're trying to grow a brand on the Takealot platform. We have some material for that, and then any initiatives and incentives we're hosting for the Proudly SA members.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So I think we have gone through all the questions that were in the Q&A box. The session, yes, Margaret, the session is recorded. So I think it will probably be hosted on our YouTube channel if you want to catch it there a bit later in the next couple of days. If you don't manage to find it, send me an email. I'm sure I can drop it forward to your email, and then you can watch it when you've got some time. So I just want to say thank you very much, Alexander, for making the time to run us through all the incentives, how Takealot work. It was quite informative, a lot of information to take in. So I think the presentation will also just provide any further information that people are looking for. Thank you very much to the Proudly South African members who joined, as well as outside companies and businesses who found our link on all our social media channels for the webinar. So I'm hoping everyone found it very informative. If you've got any questions, you're welcome to drop me an email. My email is Taryn, Taryn, @proudlysa.co.za. So we're going to close off the webinar right now. Thank you very much to everyone who joined.
Thank you.